Hello and welcome back. It's Sunday evening, which means one thing. We are here to review everything Sky Bet League One base. 12 games, 36 goals, movement at both ends. Managerial casualties potentially on the way as we do take a bit of a break this week from Sky Bet League One action. We do have 5 midweek games to also look at. The latest League One table looked at as well. We aren't alone this weekend as well. YouTube is having a bit of issues connecting. So, again, let me know if you can see and hear me all right. And if we do go off, do stay with us. I know our colleague, Tom, has had issues this evening. But we're not alone. We're going to be joined by Jake from Channel 72 and our co-host on the also fabulous That League One podcast. Hello, Jake.
Evening, mate. How are we?
I'm very good, mate. Again, you've got a nice bit of kit, so we can hear you and unfortunately see you very clearly. And also, by the way, I think we need to give Jake a little bit of credit. I asked him to come as a Halloween outfit, and he's done that. Jake, top effort.
I thought I was about to use an expletive there, but I won't bother. No, yeah, I'm good, mate. It's been a good 7 days, especially from a Lincoln point of view. No manager as of yet, but 7 points out of a possible 9. It's been very good. Like you mentioned, new bit of kit I'm on today, which is very exciting. Went and picked that up at 10 o'clock this morning. I was like a puppy at Christmas. You know, when you've ordered a new bit of kit and you go, I had to drive 45 minutes to pick the thing up for a start. And I had to go on the A1, which is a very busy road, and make sure that I didn't crash. But no, very good, mate. Very happy. Let's see, good week. Looking forward to it. Enjoyed T-Lock today as well. It's probably the best T-Lock that we've had yet, I think, 100%. In terms of discussion.
You are
make sure you get into that tomorrow. Or be a patron and buy it now.
You are in for a treat. You are in for a treat. Honestly, go and look at the League One and also the Patreon. We have got an absolute, when I say belter, probably the best thing I've ever done on YouTube is coming this season. And I planned it on my own, but we're going to do it as a group. Then we're going to do it as a group effort. I nearly said a word there. I shouldn't have said. Exactly. So again, if you could like the stream as well as we do get in, we're also 21 subscribers away from 12,000. So if you could help us out, come on, again, get liking, get subscribing, jazz. So, Jake, let's get on with it. Barnsley 2, Fleetwood Town 2. Barnsley is the first draw at home this season. And again, they've only lost 2 in 11. They picked up 23 points now from their last 11 games, over 2 points a game. The Cod Army have gone and got 4 points against Reading and away at Barnsley. It was 88-minute heartache, but I'm so proud of that bunch of players. Junior Katerna, what a player. And you said to me last week, what a player you got in your hands. I've been telling you for weeks he's special. Only signed for the Cod Army because of a work permit failed at Waterford. Went on loan to Altrincham last season, got recalled, came back into the first team setup, scored away at Cambridge, and he hasn't looked back. Barnsley dropped points at home, but they've rescued a point for Fleetwood, a vital point to move them up to 12 now in Sky Bet League One.
Yeah, and to be honest, Ben, when you look at it and you talk about, just quickly on Junior Katerna, when you talk about loaning players out, you want to make sure that you send them to the right club and the right fit. Altrincham in the last couple of years have been fantastic. I know Ali Smith, who plays for us, he came through there after we left Mansfield. They play some very good attacking football under Phil Parkinson. They're a very good side at National League level. So to see him make the jump up doesn't really surprise me. But no, just on Barnsley Fleetwood, it was a solid performance, I thought, from Fleetwood. Really good, inspired by that man Katerna once again. 2 sensational goals. A free kick is fantastic. Sandwiched between a Devante Cole penalty, which we had a few choice words on T-Lock, but I think you're now coming around to my way of thinking. I think it is a penalty. I think Lynch has to go through Cole to get a hand on the ball, which he does, but without making contact. It's a good save by Lynch. It's a good save by Lynch, but it falls kind of back for Cole, and it's his 11th.
I learned this time, didn't I? I don't know if you noticed. I didn't go, yeah. Oh,
yeah, The Burton game, that was it. That was it.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
do you know what? After the free kick, and to be fair, Fleetwood definitely deserved something from the game, but it was relentless pressure in that second half, Ben. I can't imagine how your angina was in that away end. Constant pressure, 13 shots, 5 on target, 69% of the ball Barnsley had. So it would only be fair to assume, based on the stats and having not been at Oakwell myself, that Barnsley goal was coming. And it's so heartbreaking from a Fleetwood point of view that he's done everything right for 88 minutes and then it just falls to O'Keefe, who's in acres of space. And it's a good header, to be fair to him. He's diving down low. He's stooping low. It's a great header into the corner. But it's been a fantastic week for Fleetwood. 4 points out of Reading and Barnsley. You would have taken that if I'd asked you after the game that we had last week. And you know what? Lee Johnson is getting a tune out of this Fleetwood team, so it would seem. So long live the Cods, and hopefully you get another positive result midweek, because it's a big one for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Big game. Fleetwood, I thought we did all right. I was so proud of them. They stopped playing a bit, but Junior, what a goal. Nomination for goal of the month, really. Again, he got into goal of the month nomination, but didn't even get into goal of the week nomination last month. So, I find that one very strange.
Goal of the day on T-Lop.
Say again.
Goal of the day on T-Lop, it won.
Oh, yeah. Just go and spoil it for everyone. Yeah, don't worry, Jay.
Am I not meant to be leading with Peterborough?
Yes, go on then. Go on then.
You sit down. Yep, so Peterborough continued their fine form with an impressive win at Bloomfield Road. Kwame Poku started off the scoring in the first half. It could have got worse for the Seasiders had Mason Clark's penalty not been expertly saved by Dan Grimshaw in the home net. Oliver Casey sent off what I presume is being the last man, dragging down Ricky J. Jones to the floor. There's an argument for Blackpool that there's cover in from the right-hand side. I can see why the refs give it, because Ricky Ray Jones is a lot closer to the goal than that fullback is. An excellent free kick from Harrison Burrows, doubles away size leads before Ricky J. Jones puts the game almost to bed at 3-0. Kenny Dougal, Sonny Carey bite back into that lead a little bit to give the Seasiders a little bit of hope, but it was dashed in injury time when Mason Clark coolly slotted home round the goalkeeper to give Posh 3 points. Great win for Posh. Finished off all the 4 of the big chances that they created. Blackpool will hope to put a better display in them when they play Fleetwood on Wednesday.
Yes, and they're unbeaten in 4 before this one, Jake. Again, on a good little run. They've lost 2 in 8 now. And again, it was quite an even game, really. But Peterborough were just clinical at the right moment, said the right things at the right moment. Obviously, got a couple of goals in front. And then, obviously, Burrows, brilliant free kick. I've been a big fan of him this season. Yep. And I think he got into my League One underrated team of, I think, no, it was my under-23s video we got into. And, for good reason as well. And, they've got some very good young players. They're posh and, they buy them and, develop them and nurse them. And Fleetwood do similar, to be fair. Burrows 2 goals, 2 assists this season, and Blackpool, Oliver Cassie, I think he's been excellent. I think he's obviously did well at Forest Green Rovers in a difficult side last year, a bit like Charlie Savage. He also scored yesterday, and he's come back into this Blackpool side and done very well. And Blackpool conceding goals isn't very good. Last time they lost at home, they lost to Derby. I think it was 3-1, wasn't it? And Dougal scored in that one, 3 goals for him. All coming at Bloomfield Road. Blackpool, again, need to improve a little bit in these areas against the sides. They beat Barnsley. I get that. They were 2-0 against Charlton, didn't win the game. Critchley sometimes in game management isn't the best and maybe needs to be looked at. I've always thought with Critchley, he's a very good coach. As a manager, I think he's all right. I don't think he's a top League One manager. I think he needs someone not to hold his hand, but a bit of guidance, like he had with Stuart McCall and Colin Calderwood. Obviously, those 2 unfortunately left at important times, and Blackpool are seeing that. Jordan Rosey did score his previous 4. That obviously run has come to an end. Blackpool again will be looking to get back up and running in as they make the very long trip to Fleetwood down the tramway, the half-an-hour trip down the tram. Only 1 win away from home this season for the Seasiders in 6 games. We'll come to your comments before we come to the next one. People asking where Exeter will finish. We'll come to Exeter soon because they did play Lincoln. Again, Fleetwood's upturning fortune. Yes, absolutely. Loving the graphic. I slaved on this one. Tom definitely didn't help me out with it. See you up at 9 o'clock. Met you the last time, guys. Thank you so much. And again, get liking everyone as well and get those comments in as well. That'd be much appreciated. We're going to go to Bristol Rovers now, and Joey Barton has left the football club, but we'll leave that for Charlie later on. He'll be joining us in about half an hour's time. Joey Barton did win 22 of 79 League One matches. I've worked out approximately, but they did play at a Northampton side who are tough to break down, tough to beat. They do lose quite regularly, but they always lose by a goal. And again, same in this one. Again, Chris Martin, 2 goals in 2. Bit of a different goal to the one he scored the other day from 35 yards out. This one from 3 yards out, but they'll take them as they come. Great
finish. Great finish.
Yeah. That goal on Wednesday was Tuesday was sublime. Forget the handball, but yeah, it was sublime. Bristol Rovers didn't sack Joey Barton because they're out of form. Let's be honest about it. 4 wins and 8 for the Gas. Good win for them. Again, this is a game that they need to be better in. And Andy Mangan got the troops up. He's a good mate of Joey. He won't be at the football club for much longer, but it's a good reaction.
Yeah. I echo what you said. It's a great goal from Chris Martin. Now scored back-to-back home games. That will really lift the confidence, considering that when we played them a couple of weeks ago, they needed a striker, and Chris Martin's come in and filled that void a little bit. The lead was doubled exactly 20 minutes later when a collision between Lee Burrs and a Bristol Rovers player left the referee no choice. Similar to the one at Fleetwood, Ben, I think it's a penalty. Lee Burrs just has to go through the Bristol Rovers player to make contact. Evans, Judy steps up, smashes the ball home. Good penalty. Then I thought Northampton came at them a little bit, and they were a lot better in the second half. They were able to stay in attacks a little bit. Eventually got the goal that they wanted through Manny Monte. I don't know if you saw it, Ben. They also had an opportunity that ran pretty much all the way across the Bristol Rovers goal line. That I don't know how Tyree Simpson didn't just put it in the net. It looked easy to miss, but just on Bristol Rovers, 6 shots on target in that game under Andy Mangan, which suggests to me that they're much more effective going forward. And it seems that the problem that Bristol Rovers fans had was the fact that they weren't effective going forward. And 6 shots on target, 2 goals, a better display. Cobbler's in the game again, but they fall short, and they have been in recent weeks, which makes me sort of sit and worry. Yes, they put in good performances, Ben, but they don't get results. And when a team does that consistently, you start to think, well, hold on a minute, you might be part of that bottom 6 conversation. So a little bit of work to do for the Cobblers, I would imagine, under John Brady.
Absolutely. I'll let you start the next game. Burton against Leyton Orient. A thriller.
Yeah, the only game that I decided not to do any bloody notes for.
You've not missed anything, believe me, son.
Do you know? I did watch. I have watched the highlights back briefly, but just 2 teams cancelling each other out. I think 2 very good sides who have been on good runs recently. Burton, they lost at the weekend in midweek up at Carlisle, but before that have been on a very good run. And then you've also got to bear in mind Leyton Orient themselves been on a good run, beat Reading recently, had a few good results at home, drew with Barnsley. I don't think either really had that standout chance to score, but a point for it. What are you laughing at? I'll find out what you're laughing at.
I'm not even noticing
that. Mine's got paint splodges on mine. Look, that's the worst. Fashion.
Better than being an offender, isn't it? Come on.
Well, you are an offender of some description, which I won't mention. But yeah, it was offender. Yeah, that's it. It wasn't one for the history book. I think Orient will maybe be happier than Burton, given the fact that they've earned a point on the road. That's 4 points from their last 2 away games for Orient, so that's a pretty good return.
Yeah, absolutely. They beat Carlisle before that as well, and both are on 20 points, 40% to that 50-point mark. 11th against 12th, both identical records. Bar Burton to play one more, lost that game. Look, it was a very low expected goals, a very poorish game. And again, I think both sides will be happy with the point just to keep them ticking. Burton have lost 1 in 9, obviously, like you were alluding to the recent form, and unbeaten 5 at home, which is always good. You want to be good at home, and Fleetwood need to learn a thing or two. Cambridge United 1, Carlisle 0. Again, brilliant result for Cambridge. No win in 8, drawn 4 of those, and a couple of good points in there, really, when you look at it. Against Portsmouth and Derby away from home, both 0-0s. In all the wins this season, they've kept a clean sheet. Beat Oxford, beat Fleetwood, beat Reading at home. They won a couple of others. There was another one too. I think Shrewsbury they drew. There was a couple of others that they won by a goal to nil. And again, this one, another clean sheet for 19 points from 15 games. A slightly good start, a bit of a bad patch like the 8 games we just alluded to. But if you ask Cambridge fans, would you accept 19 points after 15 games? I think they would have done, because they'd think, well, it's almost 20 points. It's almost that couple of wins. You're halfway to safety already, which is important for them. So, again, at home, they're 6th in the league. They played a couple more than everyone else. They played 9 home games. They've got a tough game next week against Wycombe. I was impressed with them. Carlisle offered nothing. 0 shots on target. And it seems when Carlisle get a result away at Bolton, they can't back it up. A good point at Peter, but they didn't back it up against Leighton Orient. Obviously, they managed to win last time out against Burton. And again, all these positives it has. That the one swallow doesn't make a summer. But again, now they've lost this,
Riley Johnson,
maybe out the bathwater.
Yeah, do you know what?
I've got it in. It's taken 16 minutes of Lee Johnson basically.
You've got him in. Yeah,
I've gone for Lee Johnson.
Yeah, look, Cambridge. Obviously, it's their first home win, their first win in the league since that win over Reading, like you mentioned there, Ben. And do you know what? You say it's a couple of wins and they're back in the contention, but if you based it on how far it's taken them to get the last, to get this win, it could be a couple of weeks before we see that. But no, there was only one moment of real quality in the game, Ben. For me, it was the cross from Liam Bennett. I don't know if you've seen it. Had a really good half of the season out at Walsall at the start of last year. Came back into the Cambridge team, has pretty much been undroppable since. Really good balling from the right hand side. He's probably one of the best right backs in the division. I think he's really underrated, Liam Bennett. And it's and he's met by Thomas, whose header is powerfully put in the net. That's on 70 odd minutes. Carlisle ended the game with 9 men. I mean, we know that. Was it the Oxford Carlisle game that they were playing against 9 men? I mean, it might not have been. I feel it
was Port Vale when they had 9 men.
Port Vale, but they ended the game with 9 men. Jack Armour got sent off for a stupid yellow, and then Alfie McCalmont. Have you seen it, Ben? The red card. It's a high foot. It is a high foot, but I don't think
he's got his eyes on the ball. His eyes are on the ball.
Yeah, and I always refer to these high boots. We had a couple, and funnily enough, it's Seb Stocksbridge, who we're going to talk about in quite a bit of detail later, sent Billy Nutt off for a high foot away at Notts County, completely changed the game. He didn't change the game here, but look, much needed win for Cambridge, who've got a really tough tie away at Wycombe next week. Be really intrigued to see how they get on. Right, go down to the Valley, mate. Are we? Should we go down to the Valley, do you think?
Let's go. Scott Brown got sat there, so happy memories for me.
Well, do you know what? Bolton were good. Bolton were very good. First half, especially. Don't know if you saw the first goal, Ben. I said to you on T-Lop earlier, it's a really well-worked corner routine that frees Randall Williams up. And his goal is like it drifts from outside the far post into and it rolls across the line and goes in. It's my version of a perfect strike. Dion Charles doubles it. A couple of minutes later, great little half volley after some intricate play in the box. May and Kamara both come close. They're probably given their pedigree in front of goal. You remember Alfie May scored 20 goals last year, scored in midweek as well, and a 3-1 defeat to Lincoln. But Kamara also has goal scoring pedigree because, remember him at Plymouth. He was that season, he scored some fantastic goals. I remember away at Oxford, he scored a good brace. And then Bolton could have probably won it at the end. Randall Williams had another opportunity that went over the bar. But Bolton make it back-to-back wins at the Valley for the first time, whereas Appleton it's their first back-to-back defeats after losing on Tuesday night. Yeah, Charlton probably need to play better, but Michael Appleton teams do sometimes go on these runs where they lose a couple of games. But they've lost to Lincoln, who probably put in their best performance of the season, and they've lost to Bolton, who are not in the automatics, but only outside on goal difference. So I don't think Appleton has too much to worry about, but they do need to start scoring and they need to start playing better in the first half because, you look at Charlton, they are so a second half side, Ben. And at home, under Appleton, they just need to be a little bit better.
Yeah, agree. Bang on the money there. They've won 5 of the home matches this season. Only lost 3. That was the third home defeat of the season. Bristol Rovers went there early in the season and got the job done. And against you boys at the Bank, you were electric. As soon as you conceded that first goal, under Mark Kennedy, you lose that or you draw that 1-1. And Tom Shaw basically went, go out, enjoy it, and don't care about going 1-0 down. I believe in you. Yeah. And again, Akiba Delican wasn't even given a shirt number. Wasn't even involved in pre-season friendlies, and this is, these players
disregarded by Michael Appleton a couple of years ago as well.
Karma, it's karma. Someone could say it's karma chameleon. There's another song.
We all know what happens when you start singing, don't we?
Tell you what, yes. But again, away from home, Charlton have been woeful. Again, lost 3 of 5, drawn the other 2. This is the
23rd in the away list, in the away table, Ben, as well.
Reading haven't even got a point away from home, which is dreadful. But for Bolton, this performance isn't the greatest. It's a typical Ian Evatt display. Ian Evatt actually played under Michael Appleton at Blackpool in 2012-13. So when the pupil becomes the master, Ian Evatt. They've won the last 3, won 5 of the last 6. Bounce back ability, we often talked about it with Wigan 2 seasons ago. Tell you what, we're getting old when we're remembering 2 seasons ago. It feels like 2 months ago. And they've reacted really well. Dion Charles, 9 in 13, 10 in all competitions. Took him till December last year to get that mark as well. And Williams 2 in 2, 13 points away, 16 at home. Brilliant day at the Valley for Bolton. I think trips to the capital are brilliant, but especially when you win, they are the top days, aren't they? And I know you had some top days out last season following your boys, especially down south and Plymouth and Ipswich. I know you're a bit shy in mentioning that as well. But, absolutely. And we'll come on to the next one. It's your boys, Exeter against Lincoln. Now, I think these sides are very, very, very good in kind of good. Obviously, Colwell's a very good manager. I think he's really improved in this last year at Exeter. Fan-owned club, it is very difficult, like we've alluded to in the past. They've not scored many goals at home. That was only the 5th goal at home. But again, I think it's their 2 better players. Mitchell, what a ball, and bang! It was whipped in with fizz and a real venom. And Trevitt puts it away. 3 goals for him this season. Adding to his goal tally, he scored some big goals for them. Obviously, the one away at Burton will always be remembered as well. And his opening goal as well. He stops the rot for them. They lost 6 in a row last year, ending with a win over Morecambe. They've lost 6 in a row this year. Then did that. That's going to be big for them now. Only their 8 points at home. Considering they were top of the league for a bit, they need to improve at that. I need to see more from Musquay up front. Obviously, he was on loan at Fleetwood last year. Scott Aitchkinson as well. I know they struggle for goals. I know they brought Wilshire in as well. But Lincoln, I thought, again, 7 points from the last few games, 22 points from 14, and you've won 6 of your first 14 as well. And when you lost 4.
Yeah, and do you know what? The first half, Ben, and I will spend a bit of time talking about it, but first half, I don't know how we've not scored more than 1. We were cutting them open. Hamilton had an opportunity that went straight into Sinisalo's hands. Adelican had moments in the first half where the Exeter defence was actually parting out the Red Sea, mate. They were nowhere near the third man runs that we were making, and ultimately that led to the first goal. Really, another goal from a long throw in. I know we scored one last week up at Fleetwood. This one is fully onside. Ali Smith took home his first goal for City. It's a good finish. It's a good flick on from Paddy O'Connor as well. And then it seemed to wake Exeter up a little bit. Scott had a really good opportunity. Admiral Musquay, who was obviously, you said, at Fleetwood there, had an opportunity where I don't know how he's not put it in the net. Goes through 1-on-1. Scott, who I was impressed with for Exeter, he had a header that was really well saved by Lucas Jensen. Heads it into the ground. When you head it into the ground, it looks like it's just going to loop in the far corner. But you've seen how tall Lucas Jensen is, mate. His arms are literally like tree trunks, and he gets in the way and stops it. Second half, Exeter came out with a better team. Demi Mitchell was fantastic down that side. Hartigan as well put in a really good performance. I tell you what, I noticed, Ben. When you go away to a team and you're winning, and then all of a sudden, this multi-ball system, the ball's on the pitch about 0.3 seconds after the ball's gone out, and you're thinking the throw-in's gone in. The throw-in then is taken pretty much 0.3 seconds later. It was a bit ridiculous, but like you mentioned, it was a great header from Ryan Trevitt. But the game swings on Sean Rowan striking the bar. We scored on Tuesday night, strikes the bar, they go down the other end, equalise. Probably should have won the game from that position as well. Damien Mitchell had one that he missed. He had a free kick well saved by Jensen. Jack Vale came on and changed the game from a Lincoln point of view like he did on Tuesday. Played really well, held the ball up well, gave Sorensen an opportunity to win it. But do you know what? What a week it's been. 7 points from Exeter, Fleetwood and Charlton is a good return because 2 of them are away and they're 2 of the furthest away trips that we could have had this season. So, yes, very good week for Lincoln. For Exeter, stopping the rot's really important. And they're a good side. I don't know how they lost 6 on the bounce because they are a very, very good side.
I tell you what, you know, you've got it lucky when you're saying Fleetwood's far. I'm thinking when we got Lincoln, we've got a close away game for once when we play Lincoln. You know,
I know. But
yesterday, honestly, mate, felt like we're there already. 2 hours, we're there, and like because obviously we're doing a concept at Teal up in a minute, obviously, and we looked at he's actually down south, and they're not like middle distance, are they? Like you used to have with your Scunthorpes or your Walsalls or your Coventrys, or you know what I mean. They're actually, quite far away.
Yeah, they are, and it's a lot. You got to bear in mind as well. It's a long way to go, and the players had difficulties getting down there. There was a lot of traffic, I know, around Bristol.
I'm not doubting that. I think obviously, when you have got a lot of traveling, it also takes away a bit of training time as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to call in favours as well, haven't you? I know. Let's be honest, most clubs are reasonable. Like, say if Lincoln said to Blackpool, can we borrow your training facilities? And say if Blackpool have got a game near you, say they've got a Grimsby potentially, or in a cup game.
Grimsby aren't going to be in League One anytime soon.
No, I know that, but for a cup game, you know what I mean? Going the other way, but you know what I mean? I think kind of it takes a day away from training. Go on, Jay, you shot us off for the next one. Brilliant game.
Yeah, Oxford. We mentioned Seb Stocksbridge, didn't we?
We did.
Going to talk about him again. He had a nightmare at the Kassam yesterday. Firstly, Ruben Rodriguez scored a great team goal. I really enjoy the way Oxford score some of their goals. The moves and the passing, the movement's fantastic. And Ruben Rodriguez, you said, Ben, a couple of weeks ago, it's only going to be a matter of time before Rodriguez starts putting some actual end product in. And he scored a couple of goals recently, an assist last week as well. Really coming into his own at Oxford. And then the penalties start, don't they? Actually, before that, Oxford probably should go 2-0 up. Mark Harris races clear on goal and he probably should score. But the first penalty of the 3, which we'll get into, is probably the one that I sit and think, you know what, that's more a penalty than the rest of them, because I think it's McGuane that falls on the floor and it does strike a hand. I can see why he's given it. Is it McGuane? It was.
Yeah, McGuane, it is. I'm just saying how I used to say it.
McGoon. It's just strike an arm. Luke Leahy puts it away well. The next one I've got an issue with as a goalkeeper. I mean, I didn't have an issue with the Lynch one. I didn't have an issue with the Lee Bird one. But this one, James Beadle doesn't really touch Brandon Hanlon that much. I think he makes an absolute meal of it. Goes down, completely cons Stockbridge. Again, Luke Leahy from the spot. Tell you what, Luke Leahy is having a quietly very good season for Wycombe, by the way.
Yes,
he
5
is.
goals, 3
he's
assists.
Contributing to that team. And you know what? When I looked at his squad number, I thought number 10 for Luke Leahy. Like, he's won 3 before. He's won I think he was number 27. I'm thinking that means Wycombe are making him like their main man. And do you know what? Fair play. He stepped up and done really well. Scored a couple of really key goals. I then have an issue with the next penalty. We had a really good discussion on T-Op about this earlier. I think Stockbridge is looking to even it up. Again, I don't think it's a penalty. I actually think the contact happens outside the box on Harris. But he's looking to give a penalty because he wants to even it up. And we had this conversation at length. I don't want to ruin T-Op, but we really need professional referees, Ben, because this referee could cost Oxford a place in the Championship next year, or he could then cost Fleetwood a place in League One, and that has massive financial implications on the volunteers at Fleetwood that so well. The man who does the announcing, who I can't remember his name, but who took us into the dressing room last year.
Bibby.
Bibby, great bloke, fantastic bloke. Fleetwood go down, they might not be able to afford him next year because they've got to spend more money
Oh,
on.
come on, get rid of Bibby.
Really.
Can't
get rid of Bibby. He's a great bloke. But yeah, I think that Stockbridge was looking to even it up. And don't get me wrong, Cameron Brannigan dispatches a penalty really well. And I had this down that, obviously, I think looking at it again, I've sort of got it wrong here. But I wrote down, because I saw it was a 98th minute penalty, whatever, that Oxford was showing a bit of resilience, a bit like Pompey were when they were scoring 90-plus minute winners and stuff like that to get back in the game. I actually think it's more on refereeing error than it is on Oxford's character as a team. So, yeah, look, you know what? The only thing that I can say that is positive about this game, fair play Liam Manning for letting your thoughts be known to Seb Stocksbridge, because when he gets going, he really can be one irritable referee, full of himself. I'm not sure if you've ever been ref by him before, Ben Fleetwood, but my goodness me, he's one of the worst. And Saturday shows me everything why he should not be refereeing at this level.
Yeah, bang on. I think you've summed it up there, really. Brannigan, again, cool, composed penalty. What you expect, 4 goals, 3 assists for him. Only got 9 goals, 2 assists last season. So well on course of beating that record. Oxford without a winning 3 now. A valuable point against the Seasiders after conceding so late. But again, they made up for it against Wycombe. They played Wigan away, unfortunately lost that and were quite poor on that one. But for Wycombe, conceded 8 in the last 3, playing Bolton Wanderers on Tuesday night, losing by 4 goals to 2, and drawing 2-2 away at Peterborough and 2-2 away at Oxford. 2 good results. Leahy, the star man, 5 goals, 3 assists for him this season as well. And Wycombe have been involved in 45 goals this season. Barnsley on the most on 46, and Bolton and Wycombe on 45 there as well. 1 win in 5 for the Chair Boys again. But they played some big teams in that last week. When you look at it, Peterborough, Bolton and Oxford come away with it with 2 points. He played 2 away from home. It's not too bad. Thank you to the 100 people currently joining us as well. We will have Charlie Hayne from the Talking Gas podcast Thoughts on Joy Barton in about 10 minutes time. So stay tuned for that. And also we're 18 now away from 12,000 subscribers. So thank you for everyone who has recently subscribed to the channel. Port Vale now 1. Cheltenham 2, Darryl Clark returns. And again, it's a weekend of Halloween. Well, didn't Darryl Clark come back to haunt his old club who just sacked him just 6 months ago? I think that's a great pun for me off the top of my finger.
You've worked on that all.
I haven't. I genuinely.
What everyone doesn't know is that is written on a little post-it note right in front of where it's
nothing there. You can't probably read me handwriting.
Behind that, mate. It's up on the wall.
Oh yeah. Like I say, it's a bit like our team when we play you. You a picture of your face, just win. Didn't work last time, did it? Port Vale 1, Cheltenham 2. First away win for Cheltenham since April. They beat Wycombe on that day.
Great stat that is, but I'll tell you what, where you've got that from, I've got no idea. That's fantastic. Well done, mate. How many days ago was that, Ben?
200?
No. 186. 186.
Oh, I went with 187. I was 1 off. There you are. Well, it was 187 days ago today. There you are. Anyway, Port Vale, again, 18 points from 15 games. First goal in 6, Jake. No winning 9 since that Burton defeat. Burton one defeat in 9. It's turned. Alfie Devine with an absolutely sublime goal. I'm not going to use your turn of phrase on that one. Don't worry. It was a very good goal, though. But for Cheltenham, the credits for them as well. It's big getting a win away from home. Second win in 5 under Darryl Clark. He's got them going, and a goal from unlikely source. They'll take it on the road. And again, only 6 points adrift now.
Yeah, like you said, great finish from Alfie Devine, showing why he's got that Premier League pedigree to stick that away. It was an excellent finish, acrobatically, shall we say. But Cheltenham in recent weeks, and I know ever since they scored the first goal of the season, mate, have been getting better. The draw with Derby, the win over Cambridge, I thought they played really well on Tuesday night away at Blackpool, scored 2 goals and were really good. And they had Port Vale pinned back for a little bit in that first half, and the pressure was mounting. They had corner after corner, and Cheltenham got a really good long throw, and ultimately it fell to the feet of Sean Long, who, trust me, I've seen him play year and a half, 2 years at Lincoln. Didn't know he could put the ball in the back of the net at all, to be fair. Put the first one away really, really well. Second one, it's taken a massive deflection that takes it over Ripley. And sometimes when you're having this look, a bit like Port Vale are, those sort of things will go against you, and it drops in the back of the net. Port Vale then huffed and puffed, but the issue is, and it has been over the last couple of weeks, that final ball just isn't good enough. Thomas didn't quite get it going. Uche, Piazza the ball didn't quite bounce for him. But a month in charge for Darryl Clark at Cheltenham, and what a month it's been. I think he's doing a sensational job. He's got them scoring goals. There's at 7 goals now in the league. He came in, they hadn't scored any. 6. Sorry. Shrewsbury that have scored 7, isn't it? Sorry, you're nicking my stat. I'll give you one of yours back. But I think they've been excellent. And it was a well-deserved win. And I don't know if Matty's going to be here, but if he's watching back, I bet he's gassed because they're playing really well. Going forward, they look like they've got goals, and Goodwin's playing really well at the moment. So, Cheltenham could be about to go on a bit of a rise, but Port Vale starting to get worried. Port Vale are one of those teams, in early season, you go, they were doing really well, but now you're just going to write them off for the playoffs. I had Port Vale bottom, Matt. So
questions are being asked of Andy Crosby now as well after a great run.
He got booed off.
Lord and Saviour, yeah. And it just shows you what a run in football can do. And I said Port Vale, that type of club where things go well, it's an unbelievable place to be. If it's not, Vale Park can be toxic. And I tell you what, if that run continues for Port Vale, look, again, maybe a bit of a break now.
I hope so. In the next league game, mate. I hope it continues.
Yes, absolutely.
Wonder why.
Anyway, go on, mate. I think an absolute thriller. Come on.
You got notes on this one, Ben?
Please.
You got notes on this one, Ben?
Yes, mate. I have. I found them. I have them before.
Yeah, no, look.
I lost my Portsmouth notes before, but I'm not being funny, Jay. You could just go onto my Twitter page and nick. I wouldn't have many of my stats are on your page.
None. I get mine from SofaScore, mate. But yeah, no. Reading, by the way, actually played pretty good in the first sort of 20 minutes. I thought half an hour. Go 2 goals up through Lewis Wing and Charlie Savage. But that's about it when it comes to Reading. They come up against a side. I think they underestimated the character and resilience of this group that Pompey have got at the moment. Tino Angerin gets the ball rolling with a lovely finish on the volley for Colby Bishop, tapped home an equaliser on 45+9. That's not very common, is it? I think it's because the Reading fans are throwing tennis balls on the pitch again. And then I tell you what, I love the, as Peter Crouch would say, the housery of Colby Bishop's celebration. Did you see it, Ben? Throwing tennis balls back at the Reading fans. I'm all for a bit of that. And then Terry Devlin topped off his league debut with a really well-taken cushioned volley straight past the goalkeeper. And Pompey were in control, to be honest, mate. They had a few opportunities. They didn't get threatened by Reading. The game turned, really, at 2-1 when Sam Smith goes around the keeper. And if it's not Pompey's day, that goes in, makes it 3-1 to Pompey. Pompey then come back from 3-1 down, Ben. Different game, different story. But look, they're a great side, Portsmouth. I mean, just to touch on tonight as well, Ben, because there have been a lot of rumours circling around on social media that Mike Ashley has arrived in Wiltshire via helicopter to go and purchase Reading, which I'm not too sure whether that's A, accurate, or B, a significant improvement on the current ownership. It remains to be seen. But Ding sink to the bottom of the table while Pompey extend their lead at the summit to just 6 points. They might just be onto something in PO4. Just maybe. We don't want to say it too loud on camera. They might be onto it.
What, about 15 years ago, Reading fans sung to Portsmouth, pay up Pompey. And I tell you what, after they went 2-0 up, Portsmouth made Reading pay. Honestly, they really did. It was relentless stuff. And anyone calling this Portsmouth side lucky or fluky or it's not sustainable, I don't think it is sustainable to keep going and go down because, good sides like,
Oxford,
and Barnsley and Bolton. Say again?
You calling me out there, Ben?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Good.
I'm agreeing. I'm saying I went for those teams that, again, if you go down 1-0 to Oxford or if you went Bolton, or it's going to be hard to get back into the game.
Agreed.
I'm agreeing with you. For God's sake, man, calm down, chill out.
Right, 2 games to rattle through quickly.
Hang on, let me finish. I've not talked about Portsmouth yet, and really, really good from Portsmouth. Relentless style, and I really like this Porter side. Paddy Lane, 2 assists as well. He's getting better and better, isn't he? And great win. And the Porter fans are believing in the team. 2.33 points per game, 230 days without defeat, 26 undefeated as well, which is a great statistic as well. They've gotten 17 points from losing positions as well. They scored over 25 goals now this season as well, and they're going to sides and winning and playing good football, and they're giving themselves a team to be proud of. Next game, Stevenage 3, Derby County 1. Charlie will be with us in just a couple of minutes. Great win for the Borough. 26 points now. They've won 7 of their opening 16 games, unbeaten in 3. And McDonald again. And no, it wasn't Steve Evans having a McDonald. It was Alex McDonald with a goal and assist. A brilliant afternoon for him. Great result.
Yeah, and do you know what? It reminds me a little bit. I know to hate to bring this round to Lincoln, but it reminds me of when we beat Derby last year at home. A fantastic result for Stevenage. I'm sure Farley will tell everybody. It's probably the biggest scalp that they've had this season. They've had a lot of scalps. They've had a lot of good points. But this is by far the biggest. And they deserved it, mate. By far, they were the better side against Derby. The midweek win over Exeter, I think, probably papered over a few cracks, and they're starting to appear again. Back-to-back defeats on Saturdays now for Derby. But yeah, like you said, Jordan Roberts had a great game in that attacking midfield role. Alex McDonald's done it for Steve Evans before at Gillingham, at Mansfield. He knows exactly how to get the best out of him. And then Kane Hemmings, who I didn't think was going to make the step up to League One again after joining Tranmere Rovers. But fair play, they've seen something in him, picked him up later in the transfer window, and he bundled over the third. Mendes Lang obviously scored for Derby, but it didn't really matter because Stevenage were by far the better side. Yeah, day to remember for the Stevenage fans, like I said. It's performances like this, Ben, that make me think Paul Warne is literally about to get the sack. And I know we probably have Charlie waiting, and I don't want to make it go any longer, but he's not the right man. I've said it for months. I don't think it's the right fit. You're starting to see, they've got Northampton on Tuesday night. They win that 1-0. How much longer do they let him do it? They've still got 30 games, Ben, to go and change. They can change their season. If they get the right manager in now, they can change their season.
Their record's identical to the season rather than went up, but they're playing awful football. It's very hoofball at times, the possession mid-table, goals per game, shots per game. It's well down there as well.
The XG, Ben, yesterday was 0.77, and they had 3 shots on target.
You know something? It's something as simple as the bobbles that gone and the hood's up, and it looked very weird in an interview for a manager to come literally with his hood up, with a cap on. It's like, I thought, Jesus Christ, this guy is literally, and it's hurting him. You can see that, and it's funny because Paul Warne was actually Steve Evans head of fitness at Rotherham. So again, all these games had something on them. Last game before we do come to Charlie, Wigan back to winning ways, which is always good as well. Won the last 3, all by the scoreline of 2-0. They lost the previous 4. 22 points, level with Lincoln. Will be 4 points off the playoffs with 2 games in hand. They played a Shrewsbury side that have scored 7 goals this season, only scoring 2 goals away from home, not scoring since the end of August. That goal from Dan Udo away at Fleetwood was the last time Shrewsbury netted away from home, just over 8 weeks ago. They're looking poor. Second lowest expected goals in the division. Che Dunkley sent off. Callum Lang is back to his best with 2 goals and 2, as is Stephen Humphreys.
Yes, I mean, Che Dunkley gave Wigan the best possible opportunity to make it a 9-point week. Ben, do you know also the last 3 games, Ben, 2-0, 2-0, and 2-0. That's 3 2-0s in it this week. I wasn't listening to you, Ben. Don't worry about it. But look, really quick feet from Stephen Humphreys and a really powerful, well-placed shot into the far corner. And then Callum Lang has got, I don't know if you've seen it, Ben, but half the penalty box pretty much to head home from about 5 yards. Worrying for Shrewsbury. XG low again. You start to wonder how long has Matty Taylor got, because it is getting alarming now. They don't look like scoring. They're conceding goals for fun. And but for Wigan, good result. Good week, actually. Winning away at Exeter. Back-to-back home wins against Shrewsbury at Oxford as well are very good. So Wigan are truly on the march. Wardy got them wrong this year, I think it's fair to say.
Absolutely. And sorry to keep him waiting. We are going to get Charlie in. Again, Bristol Rovers fan. Charlie, hang on, let me sort this around.
There he is.
How are we doing, mate?
Fresh skin fade, Charlie. Go on, boy.
Yeah. Cheers, lads. Yeah, all good, thanks.
So again, I'm going to ask 2 questions, then Jake will ask 2 questions. Charlie will be with us for the next 10 minutes or so. Charlie, Thursday afternoon, the news comes through. I get a text off Tom. Barton gone, reportedly. 5 minutes later, Joey Barton is gone. What was the initial reaction? Was it disappointment? Was it, a shock? And how was you feeling a little bit after that?
Yeah, a bit of both, to be honest. Disappointed because I still think he should have been given more time. I still think it was early, but also not really surprised either. Complete shock. But after the, especially the Burton game, there's a lot of angry gas heads on socials, and I think it's a combination of loads of things. But yeah, very, very shocked.
Again, Joey Barton did bring you up from League Two, and he lasted the same amount of time as he did at Fleetwood, pretty much, just over 2.5 years there. Again, did a good job. Press conferences were pretty much the same. I know you. I don't think if you had Joey Barton in charge, you'd have put Bristol Rovers in the playoffs, because he gets you, doesn't he? He gets you believing, he gets you thinking we're really going to do something, and it's a special feeling, and it's really hard not to get if he's not your manager. What was your overthoughts of his tenure? He brought you up in dramatic style. The way he did it will never be forgotten. But his League One record, I think is only 22 wins. I think he won 14 last season. He won 4 this season. I think he won 4 at the back end of that season. Failed to keep you up. 19th in League One when he took over. He left you, 17th in League One. But again, he left you with a better playing squad and a better ethos at the football club, I believe. Again, what was your thoughts of his tenure overall?
Yeah, I mean, obviously coming in the COVID season, I don't think any manager would have kept us up, to be honest. If you go and look at our squad, it was an absolute shambles. Even the football club was a shambles. Last year started slow, got us on the outside of the playoffs in coming up to January. And then, after that, he, they didn't really have the best window in January. Very underwhelming. Bobby Thomas got recalled. A few star players got injured, like Rossiter, who was amazing for us, but obviously injury records speak for itself. And then, like you said, finished the season really poor. Obviously, we were safe, but it was poor, still going to games. And then start of this season, very slow again. We've had some good performances in there, but inconsistent. We win a game, then we don't back it up, or with a draw or a loss. And to be honest with you, I still think he still should be in charge. One of the best football we've played in a huge number of years with him. But like you said, you get the other things from him, about his opinions. I do like a manager that isn't afraid to say stuff, but obviously some of the stuff I agree with and disagree with as what he said. But 7 points off the playoffs when he got sacked is still pretty mad. I would have given him the run of games we've got now with obviously Northampton, Reading, Carlisle, Fleetwood. They're massive games, but overall his record in League One, like you said, wasn't the best. But obviously you said about me putting a 6th. Even with another manager, you look at our squad and the signings we've made, I still would have put us in the playoffs. For me personally, obviously I feel for a bit with Joey with the JCH thing, because that's shambles at the club.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that. I was about to ask you, do you think if Clark Harris had come in and you'd scored a couple more goals, you'd turn some of those draws into wins, and all of a sudden you're maybe 4 points off the playoffs, or 3 points, or something far fewer than 7? Do you think Joey's still in a job?
Probably. I do think we've sort of been unlucky, but also in terms of other sense, some of our players felt that we didn't pick up more. Like Barnsley at home, we battered them. Pompey away, we should have probably got the second goal and won the game. But there's been a few other games like Cambridge, even the game against you, I thought we were poor. Wycombe, we were poor, and also I think it was just the Burton game as well. Started so well, but then as soon as they get the first goal, we just collapse. It's been our home. Like if you look at our home record, it's probably up there with the best this season. Lost one game, 5 unbeaten, including 3 wins after Saturday's result. But yeah, he hasn't got us consistent results, and you factor in all the other stuff off the pitch. What annoys me a bit, but obviously I'm not surprised as well, is obviously when he came in, a lot of fans were going on about all the stuff off the pitch about him rather than on the pitch, because on the pitch, brilliant football. He's got us in a much better place, even though we were 17th when he got sacked. Like I said, 7 points off the playoff. The squad we've got, so I think it's an amazing opportunity for a manager to come in with a good squad and really achieve something this season, but get us consistent results.
Yeah, looking ahead to the future then, Charlie, and I know Gab asked this question on Twitter and it got quite a big response from Gasheads. What do you think the next Bristol Rovers manager has to do? Because you're confident you've got a squad that can get into the top 6, or you can be in that ballpark, with Lincoln, Peterborough, Barnsley, etc., Blackpool. What do you think that the manager, the first thing he has to do, whoever it is, what's he got to do to come in and completely change the mentality? Because based on Saturday, and I listened to you on It's All Cobbers to Me with Charles, which I thought you spoke very well in. I think Saturday's performance was probably better than any Joey Barton performance, because you had 6 shots on target. I think you've struggled to hit them sort of numbers pretty much all season at home. It looks like you're 17th in the home form table. What's 17th? You're 17th in the home. You've picked up 12 points from 7 games at home.
That's weird, that is. Yeah, but only 1 loss though.
Only 1 loss, but 16 teams have picked up more points. But yeah. So what do you think the first thing is they've got to do? Do you think they've got to change the formation, take the shackles off a little bit? What do you think the crack is?
It's someone that can. It's really consistency, because a lot of our games this season we've been in games, but it's just someone to try and come in. Yeah, maybe get the shackles off, but it's all about consistency. We need someone with experience, but also playing the way we have been with Barton, because we have played good football under Barton. But the problem with Barton is that he hasn't had a plan. He doesn't have a plan B. Joey doesn't have a plan B. We usually play better against the better sides. If someone comes with a 5-back or tries to sit back, we're no good. Yeah. And if we play a team, look at Barnsley, for example, should have a team that comes out and plays should have battered them. And then you look at other teams where they come sit behind us, even away from them. Cambridge just sat there at home, everyone behind the ball couldn't break them down. So yeah, just someone with the same sort of attacking minded style as Joey, but someone that can get us consistent results, because that's what we've been lacking. If we can go on a run and be consistent, we can have any chance, but it's just consistency.
And who's the man, do you think, Charlie, then? Sorry, Ben. This is the second of my questions. I know I did ask a third and be cheeky. Looking at the bookies, I know we've had conversations because we're both in the hunt for a manager at the moment, and Nathan Jones is pretty high on both of our wish lists. Gary Monk, currently favourite at 2-1. Dean Holden's up there. Neil Harris up there. Holloway's probably only up there for the sentimental reason. Yeah. Steve Cottrell's meant to be, pretty heavily rumoured in the last couple of hours. Carl Robinson's up there. My question is, who's the man? And do you think that they're going to employ someone on that list? Or do you think they might perhaps, and the way I look at it is the way that Lincoln would do it, is the bookies list is not who we're going to hire. We're going to hire someone completely that's not on there, that isn't known. Is it likely that I've just named the next Bristol Rovers manager, and out of the ones that you think it could be, who do you think is going to get the job ultimately?
Ben Garner's available.
Nigel Pearson's available now as well. If you
yeah, it's quite funny, isn't it? Both Bristol teams got Joey and Nigel in at the same time, and they're both sat at the same time 2.5 years later, which is it a coincidence? I don't know. But yeah, like I messaged you the other day, Jake, I said Jones obviously unrealistic. I think Monk has been talked about a lot. Apparently, he was at the game Saturday.
Was he taking Ainsworth?
No,
I wouldn't.
It's,
Yeah.
it's just the football. It's just the football he plays. Even under Coughlin, the season before the COVID season, it was like Coughlin's football. Nick a goal, sort of defend well, and even fans there were frustrated. I think, it could be Gary Monk. I also wouldn't be, Richard. Is it Liam Richardson, who was at Wigan?
Yeah. Good appointment.
I like him. Nah,
I think Dave Artell
he built something.
Really good. Yeah,
he built something at Crewe. Now, I was speaking to a Crewe fan at Leeds Station yesterday. They'd just been an hour ago, and they went, "It would be a good shot." And the more I spoke to him, the more he built something. He got Crewe from the bottom 4 in League 2, kept them up. Next season, won promotion, and then kept them up in League 1. Look, he had loads of injuries, and he had to play Mikael Mandra, who was a number 9 right wing back. Come on, I think someone like a Bristol Rovers, I think he'd be perfect for. I really do.
I mean, I just thing is with the squad we've got and the way it's moving forward, it's hard. But for me, it looks like to be Gary Monk. I've seen people mention the Cowley. To me, I think the ship sort of sailed at Lincoln. He hasn't done nothing apart from that. I've heard Jack's point of view.
That's harsh. Huddersfield. So, and I'm a massive Cowley fanboy, so I am absolutely going to jump in and take your part on that. Huddersfield were losing; they were going to come back to League One. He went in there, kept them up. I think that was a great job. I know what he didn't blow up any trees at Pompey, but was he backed as much as he should have been? I think Cowley would be a great fit because he gets you playing a good attacking style of football. When he left Lincoln, we were playing attacking football. I think he'd be a great fit, and he would have that mentality similar to Joey Barton, us against the world, and he'd get into the schools and the community. Because it feels like Bristol Rovers, with some supporters not coming to the men purely because Joey Barton's the manager, you'd have people coming to watch Bristol Rovers because Danny Cowley is the manager, because he brings the whole city together. I know you've got 2 teams, it's slightly different, but it'll bring everyone together. I think it'd be a great appointment. Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, I've wanted Jones, Liam Richardson. I like, but obviously I seen Warne mentioned Steve Cottrell the other day. The thing is, the way when he was at City, I don't sort of mind the fact he was at City, but the fact that he's said so much stuff about Rovers negatively. If I tell you what, people thought there was a divide with Barton. I tell you what, I've heard some stuff about Rovers fans have said about Cottrell. It would be even worse, 10 times as worse as Barton. Who knows?
Would you go and get like a under-21s manager, like a John Mousinho-esque, or like someone that's managed at youth level? Would you go and do you think Bristol Rovers are the sort of club to go and do that, or are they wanting to hire a manager?
Yeah, I think a manager. Yeah,
perfect.
I'm sort of the same. I think a lot of Rovers fans who I've spoke to, seen all the comments from, sort of the same way. So it could be anyone. You got Carl Robinson. A lot of them don't really fill me with a lot. Maybe I have, too much expectation. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. But it looks to be Gary Monk. But who knows? Like you said, it could be someone off the list. Yeah. But who knows? But it's this season. And the way that we've not even been amazing this year, and we're 4 points off the playoffs, is it? I think 5 points. This is the time, and it's consistency, and someone with experience, but also plays good football because it is. I think it is. Maybe I'm biased, but I think it's an excellent project at Rovers. The new stand going in, the talks about adding more capacity. Our fan base is up there. You two have seen our fan base. A lot of fans have, home and away. I think it's an excellent, project for a manager to come in.
Charlie, thank you so much for coming on as well. Go and subscribe to his YouTube channel, the Talking Gas Podcast. Also, congratulations on 6,500 subscribers.
Appreciate it.
Fully deserved. Thank you so much for coming on, mate, and giving your thoughts on Josephine as well. Thank you.
Yeah, on Josephine. Yeah, cheers, lads. Cheers,
mate. Thank you so much. There he is. Charlie, brilliant thoughts as ever from him. I think it's time to go through the League One table. Before we do, again, get your comments in for the last 5 minutes of the show for a Q&A. Jake, you ready to see the League One table, mate? In
I am,
all its
mate.
glory after
I am.
a
I'm
recent
so
run.
excited. I'm so excited.
There you are. So Reading go bottom, 6 points, 5 defeats on the bounce. Again, struggling for momentum. They only be on 10 points, still 4 points adrift. That table is getting cut open a little bit. Cheltenham off the bottom. A big landmark for them. I think that'll be the first landmark really under Darrell Clark, wouldn't it? Fleetwood Town still 22nd, but 2 points adrift. Carlisle on 14 after a decent week, but playing 2 more. Northampton slowly drifting with no winning 4. Wigan Athletic in a false position, but again, outside the bottom 4. Shrewsbury, Exeter and Port Vale have slipped down in recent weeks. Charlton all the way back down to 15th after a good start under Michael Appleton. Brought back to reality. No singing this time. Cambridge up to 14th after a good win yesterday. 4 points in their last 2 games. They would have taken that before Tuesday. Bristol Rovers, the Joey Barton era is over. Andy Mangan in as it stands, up to 19 points. And just in front is Leyton Orient on 20 points. Jake, what is your thoughts on, first off, that bottom area as well? I can see Port Vale downwards being a real battle.
Yeah, because you'd maybe also chuck Cambridge into that because they've gone so long without a win. So you may be starting to think that they might get involved in it because you'd expect Charlton to sort of crawl back up the table. But yeah, it's tight, isn't it? The bottom end of League One is always ridiculously tight, as much as it is going the other way. So look, there are some very good teams down there that are better than their league position suggests. I would suggest Wigan, maybe Fleetwood as well. Northampton are a side that are a lot better. Port Vale as well. We clearly know, and Exeter, we know that they've got it in them because we saw it at the start of the season. So if they can just turn it on for a couple of weeks and pull themselves out, that will be absolutely fine. But yeah, it's interesting, mate. I'm glad my team's not in there. But you know, it's certainly interesting viewing from the outside in.
I agree, and Fleetwood obviously are improving. Wigan 4 wins out of 6 at home as well. That's a really good starting. Okay, just putting the chat about Wigan becoming a fortress again. Going on to the top 12 now. Leyton Orient are there as well. Burton Albion 20 points as well. They played each other yesterday. Wycombe Wanderers 21 points. 5 outside the playoffs with a couple in hand. Again, I think we can start to believe the table in these next 5 games also. We are getting a big chunk of the way through the season, just under a third now of the way through this roller coaster of a season. Derby County will Warne be there come Tuesday, an opportunity to bounce back against Northampton Town. Lincoln City just outside the playoffs as well. Blackpool, who are struggling for a little bit of consistency after a little bit of a good run as well. Stevenage inside the playoffs, again playing a couple of games more, but again only lost 4 games this season. Again, one of the fewer goals conceded this season as well. Barnsley, again, another point against the Fleetwood side yesterday, rescuing it late on. Peterborough 9 unbeaten, 5 wins in that 9 as well. Bolton Wanderers absolutely flying, won 5 of the last 6. Oxford United a bit shaky of late, and high-flying Portsmouth have a day off. They keep winning, 26 now unbeaten for John Messino's tricky title challenge in Paddy Lane is a beauty. Blues.
Thought you were singing who the heck is at Paddy Lane? Jack Marriott scores again. I thought that's what we were going with, mate. Based on yesterday,
Jack Marriott scores
you
again.
You were singing that in the green room before we even went on. You didn't sound me now. I thought I was on a call with Shakira. But no, listen.
Jack Marriott scores again.
The top half looks a lot better. I think we're a third of the way through the season now, Ben. Some teams have played 15, some have played 14. I think we can believe the table now a little bit. I think you've got that gang, those sort of teams that are just in the playoffs, like Stevenage and not Barnsley. Yeah, Barnsley, Peterborough, and then you've got Blackpool, Lincoln, Derby, all outside Wycombe, a team that I think any of the top 10 could realistically finish in the playoffs. Personally, and the division is getting good because we set out how the league was weaker this year. I think there's more teams that can get in the top 6 than last year. I think it's more open. It's looking good, mate. The top of the table is looking very good. It's tight. It's going to be tight. I think once everyone's played a similar amount of games and perhaps Stevenage might drop a few places down. Lincoln, Blackpool might raise up a little bit. And also, you got to factor in Paul Warne might not be the Derby County manager, and they could go on a 30-game unbeaten run and win the league. Like it could still happen. It could still happen.
There's a long way to go. I think we need to get to Christmas and review. And obviously, there's no Ipswich's this year. And obviously, their budget was astronomically bigger than anyone else's last year as well. What's your thoughts on Ipswich in the Championship? Doing really well, aren't they? Again, flying. Yeah. They just can't catch Leicester. Who could catch Leicester when I think they've lost one and won, 12 games, is it now? 13 games?
13 out of 14 Leicester have won.
They're nearly safe, for God's sake. It's forgot. Again, with that deduction, it would be 4 points off. Exactly. You're doing so well. And again, do you agree with Ever that all League One fixtures should be suspended for internationals? We usually get our games. I honestly do. I think there's something got to be done because of these under-21s that are getting called up. I'm sick to death of being 2 games on, 3 games on because, again, some players could have 2 out. And again, it's Fleetwood played the system with this Blackpool game. We played the system to get players back fit. We had no Brendan Wiredu fit. We had no Montgomery fit. We had no Rooney fit. We had no Stockley fit at the time. So we played as long as we can, get Wiredu back, get all the lads back. So I think something has to be reviewed because I think so far in the international break we've had 4 games on both Saturdays, which is not good, is it? And it's been the same teams really as well. Again, who will Pompey actually lose to? Normally Charlton, isn't it? They normally lose to Charlton.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming weekend after next.
Got Oxford coming up as well. They
nearly lost on Saturday.
I do think a defeat's coming, but I think you'll bounce back. I really, really do. We'll see you next season. A good result for you yesterday. We'll see this evening.
Today.
Exactly. Here he is, the Jack Wall Football Podcast. Go and check him out if you haven't already. He's on the road to 7K. And again, I think we'll wrap up the show there. Thank you, Jake, as always. I hope you've enjoyed coming on. A good week for your boys. 7 points. A possible 9. I think you'd have taken that when I met you before the game and I spoke down to you.
Yeah, all right. You've grown a few inches, but I know where you're not. No, I can't say that. It was good, mate. It's been a good week. It's been
Matt said before, get me knuckles out. I'm getting them out, Matt. I'm getting them.
It's been a good week. And it gets tougher because we've got Oxford on Tuesday, which is a very tricky game, but one that you'd maybe back us in based on how well we've played this last week. So yes, it's been good, mate. Look, I've enjoyed sitting down and talking League One. Obviously T-Lop is out. I'm hoping it's going to be out on Patreon tonight, Wardy. So you best get a crack on, mate, before you hit the beer.
You had me with 2 fingers. I hope you've got a finger out. Come on, get it out.
But yeah, no, it's good, mate. It's been an enjoyable night. It was good to speak to Charlie. Obviously, we've spoken to Wardy and Tom today as well. So yeah, it's been good, mate. I've had a good week and hopefully get one over on Oxford on Tuesday night. That'll be even better.
And again, thank you to the 400 or so that have joined me live through this broadcast. Thank you to Jake, as ever, for giving up his free hour as well. It is much appreciated. Again, subscribe down below. Please like as you leave it, turn notifications on. We've got a Derby day that's not a Derby vlog coming on Wednesday evening for you guys as well. As we are just 17 subscribers away now from the big 12K. Big over and out. Up the Cods.
Up the Sky Bet League One and up the Imps. Go on.
Thank you for watching. Come on. Shabba.
Samina,
Wacka, eh.
Who the heck is Paddy Lane?
Jack Marriott scores again. Come on, the Gods.
You Imps.
See.